Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome everybody back to another video on the channel. So today we're looking at PUBG's brand new map called Haven. This is the newest addition to come along with Season 10. This map is centered around more urban warfare and is probably the most like PvE style of map that we've ever seen. It's pretty unique and we're going to get into how it works. Today you'll be seeing gameplay of the map and we'll also be going over and discussing every update that came along with this patch as well and what you guys can expect for Season 10. We'll also be taking a look at the Battle Pass and skins that are coming along with Season 10, but we'll get to that near the end of the video. Now, before we get started, if you guys don't mind dropping a thumbs up, that would be amazing. Subscribe if you are new to the channel, and I also have a PUBG creator code. If you guys don't already use this, then make sure to log into your PUBG account. The link to that is directly in the description. A lot of people have already began to use it, and it's super easy to do, and it does directly help the channel, so thank you guys so much. Also, I have a super important announcement to tell you guys, but I'm going to say that for near the end of the video, so after we get through all the updates and I show you guys Haven, then we'll talk about that. But with all that stuff out of the way, let's talk about PUBG's new Season 10 map, Haven. Now, for those of you who've been playing PUBG for a while, at one point playing Erangel, you've probably thought to yourself, wouldn't it be cool to have an urban warfare map that's completely focused around like this sort of closed environment, a little bit more vertical, and you just imagine like Pochinki, but an entire map of that, right? Well, in some case, this is almost exactly what Haven is like. Immediately upon spawning into the map, you'll notice that this does not play like any of the rest. In fact, this is the most like PvE focused map we have ever seen. There's not really many PvE elements, if at all, in previous PUBG maps, but Haven switches that up with a few unique elements. Now, there is a faction that you are fighting against called Pillar in this. So not only do you need to survive against other real players, but you got to survive against just the entire world. So basically, you can run into Pillar in a few different fashions. There is like this big tank BRDM vehicle that goes around and patrols the streets. If it catches you crossing, it's going to gun you down. There's also a Pillar helicopter, so if it catches you on the rooftops, which is an integral part of this map, and especially like the way that this plays out, you need to take advantage of the rooftops, but they're not completely safe because the helicopter can spot you out and like send patrol your way and everything. It's not a good situation you want to have happen. And there's also like, interestingly, their own PvE like bot guards that are pretty heavily armored, but if you're able to kill them, then they guard very precious loot. So this is the first time we've seen like bots implemented in a way that don't behave like real players. They're essentially like what they're meant for, and they just sort of guard loot. Now, you do have to shoot and kind of expose your position to the rest of the players in the map, but because this doesn't have that many people in it, it's not that big of a deal. As far as square footage, it is definitely one of the smallest maps we've ever seen, and it also player count wise pretty small as well. I believe it's 32 max per match, and that might sound like really weird to you, but because the way this map is designed and with its PvE elements, it actually works out a lot better than I thought. Like, I didn't think that would actually be a good idea, but after playing it for a little while, I came to the conclusion that if this had any more players, like maybe it could hold 40, but like anything above 50 I think would be a little bit too chaotic and just almost not fun. Don't get me wrong, I think there is a little bit more room for like maybe a few more players per match, but I understand why they're doing this. Now, this map features a duo playlist only. However, you can basically solo duo if you want as well. You can load in just by yourself, but it is going to be duos only, and I actually think that works best for the way that this map is laid out and how the gameplay flows. And I could be wrong, but as far as I can tell, there's no care packages that get implemented in this map. Like, there's nothing that flies around and drops any crates off. I believe the replacement for that is basically like fighting the guards and killing them and then obtaining those pillar loots, but at the same time, that is a risk to go after. You can also tell where the guards are. You can listen out for directional radio chatter, and then as it gets louder, of course, you're getting closer, and you can hear them from pretty far away. And again, it's going to be a risk to go after them, but even though they are like bots technically in their AI, don't underestimate how like actually armored these guys are, and make sure that you and your team or whatever are completely ready to go and take these out. But if you do it successfully, you'll get rewarded pretty heavily, so it is definitely worth doing, but don't underestimate them. Also, there's a new really neat feature that is added in Haven that I hope gets implemented to not only future maps, but even maybe retroactively to some of the older ones. But there is now like base jumping emergency parachutes. So basically, you can find parachutes within the game now, right? They're just like loot that can be picked up on rooftops. They do replace your utility belt, interestingly, however, so you will lose just a slight amount of carrying space, although it's definitely worth it for the utility you get. Basically, this allows you to jump off of any vertical building and deploy your parachute in the air to have a safe landing. I strongly hope they add this feature to the previous maps, as I feel like it could be so cool. Obviously, none of the other PUBG maps are as vertically inclined as this one is, but I still think it could work in other maps, and I don't think it would really break much. Just the idea of being able to reuse the parachute and having it as a lootable item in this game is a super sick idea. And speaking of new items they've added in, they've actually brought brought back an attachment that was removed, I want to say a little over a year ago. The standard quick draw sniper magazine has been reintroduced into Haven. This isn't mentioned in the patch notes anywhere, but I found this when I was playing. You may be used to finding the extended quick draw sniper mag, like the two combined, but just the quick draw alone hasn't existed for like a year, and whether they implemented this intentionally into Haven or not, I'm not really sure, but it is available in this map. It's a little bit too early to say if the PvE elements of this map are going to get gimmicky or not. Like, they're definitely sick the first few times around, but I think with a lot of playtime, we'll really see for sure. And maybe this doesn't need to be said, but just in case people aren't aware, Paramo has been removed from the game, of course, as that was the seasonal map for Season 9, but for 10, Haven is going to be around for only the duration of this particular season. So once this is over, Haven is going to be gone. It's hard to say if any of the elements that were introduced in this are going to be implemented into like permanent maps. That I don't really know, but if you want to play Haven, it's only going to be around for a limited time, so I recommend checking it out while it's here. Also, there are new changes to matchmaking. I'm going to put all of them up on the screen. I'm not going to go over each and every single one individually. You can look at these and see whatever region you play on to see what adjustments have been made. We all know with the addition of ranked solo, this can maybe spread the queues a little bit thin, so they're trying to design it in a way that works for everybody. So just depending on what server you play on, this is going to be the new matchmaking setup for Season 10. Also, there's a new feature that allows you to basically change your character's skin and your costume in lobby, like, and also in the game, which is really neat. There's no longer you have to go all the way back to the menu to sort that stuff out. If you want to change your character's appearance for the battle you're playing and the map you're in, you can do that on the fly now, which I think is actually a really good idea. Also, Sanhok got a little bit of an update too, so I'm going to go ahead and put these up on screen. Based on feedback they've received, they reduced some of the like weather patterns, and they've even changed the overall color palette of Sanhok Remastered, which is really fascinating to me. And you can see on screen how just like visually different these look. It almost looks like it got remastered again, right? Like, obviously we've had Sanhok 2.0 really get added to the game. It almost looks like this may as well be Sanhok 3.0. I'm not really sure, but the additions were made to improve visibility and just the overall gameplay experience. Changed a lot of the interiors in a lot of these Sanhok buildings as well, which is pretty fascinating. Also, when it comes to big updates, guys, listen, they finally did it. Our dream has come true. Custom TDM kits have been added to the game, so you can now completely customize virtually your spawn kit when playing Team Deathmatch. If you want to, you can still stay with the defaults if that's what you prefer, if you've gotten used to those. However, you now have the ability to pick your gun as well as your attachments, and I'm definitely going to be using this a lot. In my opinion, this should have been a feature from the get-go with TDM, but I understand why it wasn't. The fact that they finally added it now, though, makes me so happy, as TDM is seriously one of the best things that has happened to this game, and just the idea that you can customize it a little bit more should help out the user experience overall. Also, this is kind of interesting. They've changed boost heal animations a little bit. So they say, to better visualize the effects of boost, the heal icon animation speed now changes between 4 speed intervals based on your boost level. So when you look at the 4 bars above your health, you can see that level 1 boost heals 1 HP every 8 seconds, level 2 is 2 HP every 8 seconds, level 3 is 3 HP and you get 2.5 extra character speed, and level 4 is 4 HP every 8 seconds and you get 5% character speed. So they've essentially like cleaned up these animations a little bit to make it a little bit more easy to understand, I suppose. Personally, I didn't really see this as a problem before, but maybe people were getting confused about how it works, so they decided to take a look and fix this a bit. There's also been like literally a metric ton of UI changes to this one, and that could be an entire video on its own, so I'm not really going to go over all of the UI stuff, as I know most people don't care about that, and if you do want to know what UI things have been changed, then I'll of course have the link to that down below in the description, and you can read up for yourself. It's fairly like innocuous stuff, but you know, just some quality of life improvements that I think we're all going to appreciate. In this new season, or as far as this update, there is actually no weapon balancing patches at all. They haven't tweaked any of the guns, which I suspect is probably going to happen at some point during the season. They usually don't do it with the launch of a new map, but they do it slightly after, so you can enjoy the weapons in their current balance as is with Haven. And when it comes to my overall opinions on Haven just as a whole, I actually really enjoyed this map, right? It feels so different to anything else, and it's an entirely like novel experience, so it might get a little bit old with all of the like PvE stuff if you play it too much, although I'm not really sure. I haven't played enough hours to get to that point, but as far as like your first few playthroughs, I think you're going to really enjoy it. So I actually am going to strongly recommend getting a friend and playing some duos on this, because it works really, really well. I'm glad they didn't do squads only, and you know, potentially they might have solos if people want enough. It does feature in both perspectives, which is nice, but I do strongly recommend getting a friend and playing this one. Before we wrap this up, I also wanted to show you guys all of these skins and all of the items that come with the premium pass as well for this season, and I'm going to show you some extra exclusive skins that will be coming around as well. You have like these really interesting cow pattern skins, and also an entire Christmas set that's going to be on the way. I imagine these are going to be added just a little bit after season 10, if not exactly with it. This season has surprisingly a lot to offer, and not even just on the cosmetic front, although I was very impressed with, how much they're actually offering. But even as far as gameplay, they've made quite a few changes, and I expect that season 10 is going to be ever evolving. Not only with Haven is going to see new features, but just the rest of the game in general. The TDM spawn kits I think are absolutely huge, and many people are going to enjoy that. The update will be coming out actually on December 16th for PC, and only one day after for consoles, so they've really shortened the gap there. But as far as major updates, that is what season 10 is going to have to offer, and I strongly recommend jumping into Haven and trying it out for yourself. Now, those of you who made it to the end of the video, I do have a very special announcement, because I figured that only the dedicated ones would make it this far in the video, and so in just a couple of days, I'm going to get the opportunity to talk with the PUBG devs again, and if there's anything that you would like me to directly ask them, then let me know what that is down below in the comment section. If you have any question for the devs at all, or would like to know something, drop it down below in the comment section for me, and I'll be sure to bring it up if I can. But if you guys did enjoy today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you are brand new, let me know what you think about season 10 down below in the comment section, and also, if you do plan on playing season 10, then remember to use my creator code if you haven't already. Again, the link to that will be down below in the description if you would like to, and if you end up using my creator code, please let me know so that I can personally thank you. I really do appreciate it. But with that being said, everyone, thank you for watching once again, and I'll see you all on the next stream or the next video. Take it easy, guys. I gotta go, and peace out.